It just came out of nowhere. I had a couple of ideas which I tried, which didn't really work. And then I was out one day with my dogs in the park, and I just thought walking every day in this way is actually really therapeutic. And then the idea came of a story about somebody using walking and dogs to recover. And then I thought, well, this person needs to recover from something. And that's where it all came from, really. I just wrote the book I wanted to write, the story I wanted to write, which actually happens to be more about the person and the character than it is about the events and the incidents. The events and the incidents are like a catalyst to bring out personalities, characters, things that happen to people, how they deal with them. And that's what interests me, really. It's not about my own life. In fact, I tried quite hard to avoid that because people who write their first novel tend to write about their own lives. And my own life has been fairly normal, and I work in an industry which I didn't particularly want to write about. So what I've done is drawn on my imagination and my understanding of people's characters and behaviour, and that's what I've always found interesting, is observing people's behaviour. The hardest bit, I suppose, was the editing, because I wasn't used to editing such a big body of work. In my day job, I edit short pieces all the time, but we're talking less than 2,000 words. So a novel is an average 80 to 120,000 words, and even 80,000 I found quite a huge body of work to have to remember, to get the narrative tight, so I knew exactly what was happening when. I do a lot of thinking. I walk the dogs and I swim, and I might sit there for the whole afternoon just thinking, how am I going to get through this bit? And it might take a few days to sort of clunk my way through the plot in order to sort of resolve an issue. But I read, and I read novels, which help me, and I also read advice on creative writing and novel writing, which is something like Stephen King on writing, is just so inspiring. Fantastic. The title I had two titles before we ended up with Dare to Remember. One of which, the first one, I just changed because I wasn't comfortable with it. The second one turns out to have been a spoiler, so I'm not going to say what it was. And believe it or not, I didn't realise, and neither did my agent, but the editor at the publisher said, we want to talk to you about the title. And I went, well, I'm not wedded to it, I don't mind, just whatever you think. And she said, yeah, it's giving away too much. So we changed it.